All right, so some of you may be starting out with ball pythons. Maybe you're thinking about breeding some snakes and you're starting the investment in different animals, different morphs, and different genes. And when I first started out, I was actually buying one male and one female. So for example, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get into a pied project. I'm gonna buy a male pied and a female pied. And then I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get into desert ghost, buy a male and a female, and I started that way. And then further on down the road, after I got into it, a year or two, I realized that, hey, I think I'm kind of making a big mistake because you actually only need one male for multiple females. So then I started thinking, oh man, I think I really wasted my investment in some of these males because one male can service up to multiple females. And most breeders, I think, typically what they'll do is they'll take one male, have a really high-end male, something like this bamboo, and they'll pair it with multiple females. I could pair this with like 3 different females, and all those females will lay eggs. As a matter of fact, I actually paired this up with a whole bunch of females one year, and 11 of them laid eggs. And usually people don't take that big of a risk to spread their male out between that many females. So it's funny because I started out, I was buying males and females, and then I thought I kind of wasted that investment when I got into it a little bit further, and I was thinking, you know, I should have bought, this is kind of what I was thinking, I should have bought one male, like this beautiful bamboo male, and then just had more females. And then as I got into it a little bit further, I realized that actually multiple males can service a female, which I never really heard of before, and it's pretty interesting. It's not very common. And what you can actually do is you can take something like this bamboo, and if you just pair it with a ball python female just one time, what actually happens is it doesn't fertilize all the eggs. And usually, typically what a breeder will do is they'll pair this up at least once a month for like 5 or 6 months to make sure all the eggs in the female are fertile. And what happens is, so say for example, if you paired up this snake with a female just once and just for a few days, and you saw the copulation, saw it lock, you separated them and you didn't pair them up anymore after that, what would actually happen is when that female lays eggs, only a small percentage of those eggs would be fertile, and the other ones would be laid as slugs, which are infertile eggs. So what you really need to do is pair them up month after month after month for about 6 months until she ovulates, and then after that she'll lay a nice big fertile clutch of eggs. But what you can actually do is you can take a snake like this and then pair it with your female, and then take another male, pair it with the female, and then another male. You can have multiple males pair it with the same female. What actually happens is you get a whole clutch of like Easter eggs, you know, a bunch of really crazy stuff hatching out from those eggs from that single female. And I've seen people do it. Well, they'll have, you know, especially with the normals, and they'll have normals that pretty much, you know, I have quite a few normals. I started with the normal ball pythons, the classic wild type ball pythons are really not worth a lot, but what a lot of people do is they'll actually pair them up with multiple males and kind of use them as an Easter egg snake, and every time those eggs hatch you never know which male it's going to come from. And kind of on the flip side, what you really don't want to do if you're thinking about making some Easter eggs from some of your snakes, what you really don't want to do is use recessive genes. So for example, if you paired up like a normal, if you paired it up with an albino male, and then you paired it up with a clown male, and then like a pied male, all those are recessive, and you get one copy of the gene, and you couldn't actually see a visual. So you get a normal looking ball python, and you think, well, is this, you know, het pied, or is it het albino, or is it het clown? You really don't know. And what you really want to do is you want to use codominant or dominant mutations. So for example, this is a bamboo, which is actually codominant. And when we say codominant in the ball python industry, it has a super form. The super form is an all-white snake. Look at this snake. This snake is kind of going crazy. It's funny, every time I put snakes in front of the camera, they all want to go up to the camera and they're like, what in the world is that thing over there? I don't know why they go for the camera. It's really weird. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of a side note there. So anyway, I'm actually thinking of doing that with one of my females and multiple males. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you the female that I'm going to use this fall to pair up, and some of the males that I'm going to pair up with that female. All right, so this is my really big normal female, and I was thinking of actually phasing out some of my normal females, and probably what I'll do is I'll take the smallest normals, phase those out first, and I'll keep all my really big normals because I know they'll lay a lot of eggs, and I'm gonna make Easter egg clutches with these snakes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pair that with my bamboo first. Let me get that bamboo. It's a really beautiful snake. And this, I would have to say, this is an unusually large male. Usually males don't get that big. And one thing you definitely don't want to do is put two males together full time, because what happens is if you put two males together in a tub and close it up, they will actually fight really bad. I can kind of show you right now, I can put them together, but you definitely don't want them together for a longer period of time. So the bamboo is co-dominant. So actually, when I breed the bamboo to the normal, on average, half the babies will come out bamboo, half will come out normal. And another one I really want to cross with this is my coral glow. Let me show you my coral glow here. So this is my coral glow male. So really what you could do is the interesting thing is when you're doing this though, you'll never get a bamboo coral glow, because the coral glow will actually fertilize some of the eggs and the bamboo will fertilize some of the other eggs. I don't think they'll actually mix to where you could get a bamboo coral glow if you pair them up separate. And another one I have actually that would be really cool is this one over here. Let me show you this one. This is, take a look at this. This is my bamboo calico. So actually if I did the bamboo calico too, you can actually do 3 males with 1 female. And what that would actually do is I'd have some calicos, some bamboos, some coral glows, and some normals all popping out of the same female, which would be really cool. And any of your other dominant or co-dominant. Another one I could actually throw in there is I actually have this one. Let me show you this one. This is my lesser bamboo male. So you throw in a lesser bamboo male on top of that. So I could actually breed 4 males with this female and actually get a whole bunch of different stuff. So I get lessers and bamboos. This is actually a leucistic complex. This is 1 copy of the lesser gene, 1 copy of the bamboo gene, and then this one has calico in it, and you get the bamboo from this male, and you would get coral glow from this male. So you get a whole mix of babies, and every time you opened up a clutch of eggs, it would be like Easter. You get all kinds of stuff popping out, which I think would be really neat. All right, so this snake that I have around my neck, this is one of the most impressive snakes in my entire collection, and I wish I could do this Easter egg thing with this snake, but the problem is this actually has Desert Ghost in the mix. It's a pastel Desert Ghost, and the Desert Ghost is recessive, so you really couldn't do what I'm talking about with a snake like this. You wouldn't want to add this as one of the males in the mix with that female, because what would happen is you get some pastels, but you would get pretty much they would be het Desert Ghost, and you can't tell which ones are the heterozygous. Have 1 copy of the Desert Ghost gene, and you really need 2 copies of the gene in order to have a snake that looks like this. This is a pretty unique snake. As a matter of fact, when I bought this snake, I bought a female with it because I wanted 2 recessives, and to breed them together, I'd get a whole clutch of Desert Ghosts. Some would be pastel, some would be super pastel, and I got the spider gene in the female. I get a whole bunch of really cool snakes, and you really couldn't do what I'm talking about with this snake, unfortunately. But I do have some plans for this one, and let me tell you, if you're buying males and females, it doesn't really matter if you have too many males or, you know, an equal number of males and females. You don't really waste your money. You can always use them in a lot of these projects, especially in projects like this. that I didn't really even think about when I started buying a lot of my males. You know, at first I was like, oh, I wasted my money. But then after a while, you know, the other thing, especially with males, what I really like to do is I'll breed some of my males 1 year and then save some of the males for the following year. So for example, if you just had like 1 bamboo and 10 males and you produced a whole bunch of bamboos, the problem is you really saturate the local markets with the bamboo. And then the next year, you don't really want to produce that many bamboos. So what you can do is you can take something else like a coral glow and ramp up the production on that, and then kind of scale back on the bamboo and vice versa, and kind of go through your males. And some people will buy a male and they'll sit on it for 3 or 4 years and then breed it later on down the road. And that way they kind of have a whole rack of available males to choose from, kind of like a painter, I guess. And when you're painting a picture, you don't want to use every color for every picture. You want to use just some colors for, you know, for certain years and certain seasons. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll buy a whole bunch of males, they'll kind of cycle through them, and then after they cycle through all their males, they'll actually sell their males and then buy different males to kind of freshen up their collection, and then kind of go that route where they always have something different. I know some big breeders are really into that. They'll constantly be buying and selling a lot of their males to kind of just liven things up and always have something new coming out in their collections. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.